So that gives us 8 and 5/24. And of course, we're double checking our sign. Our common sign is negative, so our answer is also negative. Going to the method that you may have learned in elementary school, we're supposed to add, of course, and use the common sign. We have to find the common denominator. We already did that. So I'm just going to rewrite this as negative 2 and 9/24 plus negative 5 and 20/24. Now, here's the part that gets kind of hairy. This whole converting mixed numbers to improper fractions. In elementary school, when you have numbers, generally they're smaller. But as you get older, your numbers are going to get bigger. And this whole converting the improper fractions requires you to be a strong multiplier. So if you struggle with multiplication, this is probably not the best method for you. 24 times 2 is 48. And 48 plus 9 is 57. So this is going to be 57/24 plus 5 times 24. So I'm going to do some scratch work off to the side. 24 times 5. 5 times 4 is 20. Carry my 2. 5 times 2 is 10 plus 2 is 12. So that's 120. But to that 120, I have to add 20. So if I add 20 to that, I'm going to get 140. So this is going to be 140/24. Look how big those numbers are getting. The bigger your numbers, the more likely we are to make mistakes. The next thing we're going to do is add the fractions by adding the numerators. So 140 plus 57 is going to be 197. And then the denominator stays the same. And don't forget, we have to get that common sign. Our common sign is negative, so our answer is negative. Now here's the question. Is this the same thing as that? Well, remember, we can convert a mixed number to an improper fraction by going 24 times 8. So let me do that off to the side. If I take 24 and I multiply it by 8, 4 times 8 is 32. Write down my 2, carry my 3. 2 times 8 is 16, plus 3 is 19. So that's 192, but I have to add to it 5. So 192 plus 5 is going to be 197. So this indeed is equal to negative 197/24. Okay, so you choose which method is best for you. I choose method 1, but if you choose method 2, that's all right as well. Next and last, thankfully, is we have negative 3 2/3 plus 5 1/3. So notice we are adding, but this time they have different signs. So if we have different signs, we have to subtract and use the sign of the greater. Now, I forgot to put this in here, but oh no, I didn't. They have a common denominator, so we don't need to get a common denominator. So we're going to subtract. I'm going to stack these up. I'm putting the 5 1/3 on the top because it has the greater absolute value, and I'm putting the 3 2/3 on the bottom because it has the lesser absolute value. And of course, I have to subtract. Now, we're going to try subtracting the fractions, but we're going to encounter a problem. If I have 1, I only have 1, and I'm telling you to take away 2, that's a problem. Okay? So, what we're going to have to do is borrow. Now, most kids are going to think, well, I'm going to borrow, and this is going to become a 4, and that is correct. But most kids want to make that 1 into 11. That is not correct. Please listen. So before, we started out with 5 and a third. So let me draw 5 circles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and my third's going to be here. Pretend like those are all the same size. I know they're not, but did the best I could. So we had 5 whole pizzas and a third. I'm going to color to kind of demonstrate. Notice they're all sliced up the same way. They're all sliced up into 3 equal pieces. And to demonstrate 5 and a third, this is going to be, this whole pizza is colored. This whole pizza is colored. This whole pizza is colored. That's pizza number 3. This is pizza number 4. This is pizza number 5. And then here is 1 piece out of 3. So I'm saying I only have 1/3. I need to take away 2/3. So I need to take away 2 slices. I'm not going to be able to do that. So what I'm going to end up doing is coming over here and I'm going to borrow. So I already had this 1/3, right? This right here. That's what I had. But I'm going to borrow this pizza right here and put these 2 pizzas together. Notice I only now have 1, 2, 3, 4 whole pizzas. That's why I put a 4 right here. Now, I told you this 1 is not 11, and it's not, guys. Look, I have 1/3, 2/3, 3/3, 4/3. Okay, so this 1 becomes a 4. And you might be like, well, how did you get that, Miss Brown? Without drawing, here's what you can do. You see this 1 right here? You see this 3 right here? Add them together. 1 plus 3 equals 4. That's going to give you your new numerator. So be careful. You can't just add a 10 to it or add a 1 in front of it like you're used to. You've got to be thinking about what you're doing. Okay, so here we go. Now we have 4/3, and I'm telling you to take away 2/3. Well, 4 minus 2 is 2. And I can do that with my eraser, taking away 2/3. I'm taking away this third here. That's gone. And then I'm taking away 2. So I just took away 2/3. So notice I have only 2/3 remaining. And then for the whole numbers, I'm asking you to take away 3 whole pizzas. So when I do that, I'm taking away 1, 2, 3 whole pizzas. And that only leaves me with 1 whole. So notice I have 1 2/3 remaining. Now we've got to check our sign. Notice this 5 1/3 has the greater absolute value. So my answer is positive. This is correct. Going over to the other side, I have the same thing. Convert mixed numbers to improper fractions. So here we go. 3 times 3 is 9, and 9 plus 2 is 11. So that's 11/3 plus 3 times 5 is 15, and 15 plus 1 is 16, plus 16/3. Remember, we have to subtract the fractions, So 16 minus 11, I'm just subtracting the numerators, is going to give me 5. So that's going to be 5, and the denominator stays the same. And that's positive because 16 thirds is bigger. And if you're like, well, are these two the same? Well, I could either convert this to a improper fraction, but this time I'm going to choose to convert the improper fraction to a mixed number through division. So 5 and 3. 3 can go into 5 one time. 1 times 3 is 3. Subtract out, that's 2. So I have remaining 2 out of 3. So 1 2/3, which is this right here. Thanks. Bye-bye.